Good morning. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. We start at the cryptocurrencies. Got quite a move in Bitcoin this morning. We did add it, I think of when it was around, we added BitX when it was around 57,000. So that is the story with Bitcoin. And we'll just move over to Ethereum. Ethereum has a nice move as well, up about 250 points. Let's move over to our word of the day. Our word of the day is Holophrasis. Holophrasis, the expression of a whole phrase in a single word, like in howdy or how do you do. So that is the word of the day. We go on over to our heat map. We'll see if we can keep on the heat the entire day. Yesterday, we lost all the heat and went negative. It is up. Semiconductors, SMH is our ETF of the day. It's kind of surging right at the moment. Energy is doing well. Almost everything is green. Disney is down. Some medical issues are down. So, and some of the recent IPOs are down after releasing their earnings. So we'll take a look at a couple of them. So that is what is happening there. This is our IPO of the day, Shark Ninja, up about 15%. And this is our stock of the day, Zillow, in the real estate area, up about 20%. Just take a look at the ETF for real estate. It's up 0.82%. So that is the story there. Let us just go, since we're looking at the sectors in the S&P, financials are up. Energy is up, wow, 2%. Pretty good move. Communications, where Meta and Google are situated. I believe this one is in there, is T-Mobile as well. Seems to be doing pretty well, whatever the environment is. There's a biotech bouncing a little bit. The IBB is up as well. This is one we had before, bouncing off of the 200-day moving average. Semiconductors was our ETF of the day. It was up 5.6%. Retail is up 0.5%. Consumer discretionary, where Tesla and Amazon are, it's up 2.28%. I believe our stock of the day, it may have been yesterday or the day before, it's up 0.8%. Consumer staples. Home builders up 1.93%. We haven't looked at software for a while. Software is up about 3%. Technology is up 3.45%. And let's see, it did go up. You know, it's interesting. It looks like an inside day because it has not reached the peak of yesterday. So that's where we were yesterday. Building materials up slightly. Mining and metals. Everything looks like with the inside day, except I believe SMH. No, it's all an inside day so far. And let's go to airlines. Airlines are up today, almost 3%. Leisure activity up 2.8%. The banks up 1.6. Regional banks up 1.29%. Not sure if this is the right symbol. Here we go. I had it spelled wrong. Insurance of 1%. So that's kind of a look at that. Let's go over to our dollar index. Our dollar tried to move higher and then pulled back, fell to its 200-day moving average. Silver Silver is up slightly. Looking for the news. And gold is bouncing off of its 10 and 20-day moving averages. We got the news pulled up, ready for our next segment. So let us look at copper. Got a little bit of a bounce. Look at the bond yields. Wow, that's a big move on the bond yields, up 1% up to 4% now. Big move off the bottom. Same thing on the 20-year bond of almost 3.2%. Take a look at the VIX. I'm sure the VIX is pulling back a little bit here. Had this gigantic move here, pulling back. S&P 500, it's still with an inside day. Hasn't been able to clear out yesterday's high. Same with the equal weight in the S&P 500. The NASDAQ, pretty close to where it was yesterday. So it's up 3% for the day. The equal weight is up pretty close to, yeah, it's up 2.5%. IWM, small capitalization index, still an inside day there, up 2.2%. And the Dow Jones is an inside day as well, up 1.57%. So now we move over to our news. Jobless claims came in much better than people were expected. Powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 7.1 struck off the coast of Miyazaki on Japan's southward island, Kyushu, prompting a tsunami warning. RBA Governor Bullock said remain vigilant to inflation and risk, won't hesitate to hike if needed judged current rates still meet their inflation mandate. Don't expect him to return to the 2.2 to 3% inflation target range until the end of 2025, based on what the RBA board knows. We won't see rates coming down quickly. In a call with clients this week, James Malcolm, a global strategist at UBS, Payne Weber, estimated the cumulative dollar-yen carry trade size built since 2011 at about 500 billion, with about half of that extended during the past 2 or 3 years. He said about 200 billion of those positions had been ditched over the last few weeks, and 3/4 of the trades he ultimately expected to be unwound. JP Morgan Chase now sees a 35% chance that the US economy tips into a recession by the end of the year, up from 25% start of last month. China retail sales passenger vehicles declined 2.8% year over year. The bull bear spread of American Association of Individual Investors, AAII, weekly survey was 3 versus 19.7. Last week, bulls fall to 40.5 from 44.9. Neutrals fall to 22% from 29.9, and bears rise to 37.5 from 25.2. Japan's current account surplus hit its second highest on record in the first half of the trade deficit narrowing. Now on to our company news. AZEK is the first company on the list. Earnings came in at 42 cents versus 36-cent estimate, and they got a nice gap up. So that is slightly bullish. They're up 8.39%. Boot Barn, I believe they were rising today as well. $1.26 versus consensus of $1.08. Got a strong move up on Boot Barn, up 12.55%. Costco reported net sales of 19.3 billion for July, up 7.1% year over year. And they're moving up slightly, up 3.44%. Dutch Brothers sinks about 20%. Earnings came in at 19 cents versus estimate of 13 cents. And so they had a big sell-off early in the morning, went down to, I believe it was 27.50 maybe. 27.18, and now they've been as high as 29.95, and they're pulling back a little bit. I'm still big on Dutch Brothers, just don't have them in my portfolio at the moment. We'll continue to watch them. Monster Beverage, Q2 EPS 41 cents versus estimate 45 cents. And they fall 11%. Zillow Group, a big winner, Q2 revenue 572 million versus consensus of 538. A big gap up here. They're up 18.6%. On to energy. Cheniere Energy reported that 36% fall in Q2 profit on Thursday, hurt by lower natural gas prices and liquefied natural gas. But their stock is going up 1.55%. Earnings declined 32% year over year quarter. Marathon Oil adjusted net income 357 million versus estimate of 393 million. Their stock is up 1.71. I guess people were expecting a worse quarter. Earnings are up 31% year over year. Occidental Petroleum, big holding of Warren Buffett, Q2 adjusted EPS $1.03 versus 77 cents. They got a big jump over here, 5.42% increase in the share price. SM Energy, Q2 adjusted EPS $1.85 versus $1.53. Got a big jump over here. They've definitely filled, looks like they filled two gaps at the moment, up 10.6%. And next is Solar Edge. Solar Edge, quarter two revenues, 265.4 million versus estimate of 262.3 million. And they're off 4% today. Financials, Jackson Financial, quarter two adjusted EPS $5.32 versus estimate of $4.36. Big jump here, up 9%. LegalZoom, quarter two EPS 10 cents versus estimate of 9 cents. They're off 1%. Ripple Labs has been ordered by Manhattan Court judge to pay U.S. SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, about $125 million in penalties over charges of improperly selling the cryptocurrency XRP. According to the court filing, the figure is well below the $2 billion the SEC had been seeking in fines and penalties. On to Hood. Robinhood is down slightly. Quarter two EPS 21 cents versus 15 cents. I guess they are bouncing back now. They were down earlier. They're up 2.63%. On to healthcare. Elanco, quarter two EPS 30 cents versus 24 cents. Initially sold off. They're bouncing back at 3.63%. On to Guardant Health. Trying to adjust the news. Guardant Health, GH. Quarter two adjusted EPS 48-cent loss versus 74-cent loss. Initially went up slightly, and they are now down 10.73%. On to ICU Medical. Adjusted EPS $1.56 versus $1. And they jump out of the profit zone, actually out of the pivot zone into the profit zone with a 24% jump. Jump on earnings. On to McKesson. Quarter one EPS 788 versus 722. And they're down 12%, maybe on the forward-looking guidance. Outset Medical, quarter two EPS 66-cent loss versus estimate of 47, down 63%. Wow. Sarepta, quarter two EPS 7 cents versus 1 cent estimate. You'd think it'd be up, but it is down 2.9%. On to industrials and materials, Bluebird, quarter three EPS 91 cents versus 51 cents. It's up slightly, up 1.22%, initially sold off and now is bouncing back. Kachi, quarter four EPS $6.61 versus $5.93. It is up 2.38%. On to CF Energy. CF Industries, quarter two EPS $2.03. Tops consensus of $1.83. We got a big jump there. They manufacture nitrogen fertilizer, mainly for our farmers out there producing food for us. Kratos Defense is quarter two EPS 14 cents versus 8 cent estimate, and is off slightly after kind of cratering down and got a big bounce back now. On to Manitowoc. Cuts full year 24 revenue to 2.175 billion to 2.25 billion from 2.27 to 2.37. So this is down about 5%. Nutrien, quarter two EPS $2.34 versus $2.19. I think that would be up, but it pulls back to the, looks like it's not the 20-day. I'm not sure what that blue line is, but it pulls back to it anyway and bounces. Then Danta has put a plan to sell its steel business on hold after a $1 billion share sale gave the company more breathing room with its finances, sources say. And this one does not come up. Amdocs in technology, media, and telecom, Q3 EPS $1.62 versus $1.60. You'd think that'd go down, but it bounces up 3%. AppLovin, Q2 EPS 89 cents versus 75 cents. Initially, after hours last night, it had sold off, but you just never know what's going to happen. It's up 12.56% today. And Bumble, Q2 EPS 22 cents versus estimate 13 cents. And it gaps down 31%. Wow. That is amazing. Fastly, Q2 EPS 7-cent loss versus 8-cent loss predicted, and it's down 18%. We did have this as an option right over here, and we got out of it. Actually, we bought it over here, and we're glad we got out of that one. Sometimes you can see these things coming. HubSpot is up 2.71%. It was up further earlier. Their earnings came in at $1.94 versus $1.64. JFrog, Q2 EPS 15 cents versus 14 cents. It did not like that. It's down 31% on that news, even though their earnings were up 36%. I guess they had been too richly valued going into earnings. Klaviyo, Q2 EPS 35% year over year to 222.2 million versus estimate of 212.3 million. And it jumps about 30% on that news. Huge volume. Volume's up 790%. Magnite, Q2 EPS 14 cents versus 15 cents. And it falls to its 200-day moving average and bounces all the way back to almost unchanged. On to MKS Instruments, Q2 EPS $1.15 versus $1.71. You would think that would fall, but it does not. It rises 6.32%. Sonos, Q3 adjusted EPS 23 cents versus estimate of 1 cent. And you think that would rise, and no, that falls 3.34%. And Warner Brothers, final listing on the list, Q2 EPS loss $4.07 versus an estimate of 22-cent loss, and they gap down with an over 8% loss. So that is our look at the news. What are some of the things that looking for the future? Coin, really like coin. Believe 262 is a 12-year target. We haven't gotten into this yet, but we're definitely looking at that. And one of the counts we did put on BidX, as we said earlier, we'll continue to watch this. It's up 18% for the day. And Elf Beauty. We did sell all of Elf Beauty out. It's bouncing a little bit. Its earnings are after the hours. Just unsure how this is going to go. They've been on record as beating their earnings estimates all along here. They're one of the most reasonable priced cosmetics companies out there. So we'll just have to see how that all plays out. Just look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's got a nice bounce here. I'm just kind of watching this one. Fang Yu has had a huge sell-off here. Just remains to see if it's up 10% today. If institutional professionals will come in and kind of support the markets here, or if it's going to decline further. We do have our toughest part of the year, September, October. So we'll just have to wait and see. The rules that we follow, if there is a follow-through day, up at least 1% on volume, that you should buy something. So just kind of wait and see if that comes in tomorrow. The earliest a follow-through day could come would be tomorrow. Let's take a look at some of these other things in the market. Netflix is having a good day, up about 3%. Google up 2.5%. Looks like it did try to clear yesterday, but it has pulled back now. Meta still within, so it's an inside day for Meta, even though it's up to 504. Mr. Softy, definitely still an inside day for Microsoft, still below its 200-day moving average. As we've said many times before, nothing really good happens under the 200-day moving average. Apple up to the 50-day moving average. And a nice bounce here. We'll see if it can clear that. Amazon had some poor earnings results. It is all the way under its 200-day moving average. It needs to get above that before you even contemplate anything. So we got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla. Below its 200-day moving average as well. Take a look at Eli Lilly. Got a gap up in Eli Lilly, up over 8% today. On its earnings, came in at 86%, 43% earnings surprise. So that kind of wraps up today. Oh, I did forget to take a look. What's up? At least 10%. We do have 16 items here. We may have seen some of them before. Harrow, development, production, sale of ophthalmic therapies. Their earnings were down 200% and their stock is up 58%. Go figure. The volume is up 1,821%. That is truly amazing. We looked at Shark Ninja earlier. ICU Medical, I believe we looked at that news. Parker Hannifin, and in the industrial space, gaps up over 10%. Earnings came in at 11%. We looked at Boot Barn in the news. ACV Auctions. Look at that move, up 20%. Earnings are up 300%. We looked at Zillow. Getty. Getty gaps up. Earnings are up 23%. It's up 14.5% today. Looks like it cleared the tops here. That could be a early buy point right there. Via satellite, I believe this is. Viasat, satellite wireless communications. Earnings came in at almost 1,000% increase, 278% earnings surprise. Their stock is up 41%. We looked at this in the news. Aspen Aerogels manufactures high performance aerogel insulation used primarily in infrastructure facilities. It's up 20% on earnings, up 195%. Amphastar Pharmaceuticals. Earnings came in and increased at 45%, up 14%. Fluence Energy provides energy storage products. It is up 17% on 105% earnings increase. Expel manufactures and distributes aftermarket automotive products in the US, Canada, UK, and Netherlands, up 41% today. Earnings came in at negative 5%, and they are up. And finally, I believe you call this Xometry, provides online manufacturing services which enable manufactured custom parts to be sold on their website. And their stock is up about 41% on earnings that increased 100%. So that is a story there. Not much else is happening. We're not going to do anything until we see a follow-through day. But things look good today. We'll see how things come in tomorrow. And this has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hope everybody has a great day. We're going to be here to help your money work harder than you do. So keep it right here. And remember, it's up to you to do your own due diligence. Find out what works for you.